Yes. Okay. Now we are at the live program here from Izmir. Is Roma Agency and Radio Patrin together? And from the other side is my guru, my revolutioner, my hero, Jan Hancock, Professor Jan Hancock. What you do like this with the hand? You don't hear.
Half.
Half you hear. Okay.
Yeah, partial.
Az duyuyor. Do you hear now?
Yes.
Yes. Okay. So let's start. First of all, my dear professor, my brother, I wish you very happy Roma World Day.
Thank you, my brother, and I wish you the same.
Thank you. Let me just tell you that here in Izmir, I am for a quite tough time. And well, I might say that we have a success here in lobbying and working together with a team of Mayor of Izmir, Tunç Soyer, but our brother, Ozcan Purcu, who is the deputy at the Turkish parliament, he had worked with. And we have some signs that it is going to be that Eurasian Roma Academic Network will have his headquarters and a space to make a documentation archive center and as well a study research center for Roma. What do you think about this initiative? You didn't hear the question, yeah. I will repeat. Here in Izmir, we have got a place where Eurasian Roma Academic Network will have a space where the archive documentations about us, Roma, will appear. No, you don't hear. You do me. Do you hear us now better? Do you hear us better? Hello?
Again?
Hello there, Yanko. Hello?
Can you
Hello
hear
there,
me? Can you hear me?
Yes, we do hear you.
I cannot.
Now we lost your voice. Can you say anything, please?
Naști şunavtut.
Oh, duymuyor beni ya. Şimdi, now do you hear me? Şunesman kana? Yan Hancock. Şunesman kana? Akana şunesman? Şunesman akana Yanko? Şunesman akana Yanko? Şunesman akana Yanko? Yanko şunesman akana?
Yanko düştü.
Do you? I'm very sorry, but we have really kind of a technological issues here. Like technology, and as well, internet is too bad. I hope that we can continue with. Here is Jan Hancock again. Do you hear me, Jan? Jan, do you hear me? Şunesman? Şunesman akana?
There is no sound. I cannot hear you.
Kulaklık tak. Kulaklık.
I can see you.
Do you have earphones? Do you have headphones? Do you have?
No, it's not this phone.
Okay.
Duyuyorum şu an.
Um, what I can
I
do?
can hear you now.
Give me
I hear you well
a-
now.
okay. So here in Izmir, we have got very good news. And after quite a time of lobbying and working together with Mayor Tunç Soyer and as well with our Deputy Orhan Purcu, the Eurasian Roma Academic Network will get a space headquarters, and we will start to work as we were thinking to make the best archive, best materials, best books to make a Roma Study Center here in Israel. Professor Jan Hancock, after tomorrow is the World Day of Roma. And I believe that this look like a gift that we have got. What do you think about it?
That is a wonderful news, Orhan. I'm very pleased.
Thank
It
you.
has taken a very long time.
After tomorrow, on the day, we will have also here very big event. But tomorrow is so big event organized by Mayor Tunç Soyer that few Roma around of Europe arrived somehow in this pandemic time. My first question to you is, how you feel and how you see IRU, International Roman Union, the first Congress after 50 years?
Our progress,
The Congress before 50 years. I ask you a question, how you feel, how you see today the first Congress in 1971 in London?
"50 years ago, I was at the first world, became involved in our struggle. And we are still in that struggle. 50 years later, we still rank at the lowest levels in Europe, especially of health, education, discrimination, but we are getting better equipped to challenge these things because we are becoming educated. And we are becoming educated by learning who we are. You know me, Orhan, very well, and you know that I have fought most of my life to educate our people about our common history, because I have said over and over again, we are our own worst enemies. We are a very big people. There are more Roma in Europe than Swedish people or Norwegian people. There are millions of us, but we are still held back by some sort of tribalism that makes my group separate from your group. I don't want my girls to marry your boys. And this is because we have been divided since arriving in Europe, in the West. I've said many times, as an example, Roma in Finland, Roma in Spain have been separated from each other for hundreds of years and are separated geographically by hundreds of miles, of meters.
What we have to do this
So
kind of
we look at the we have to learn about our history that makes us the same, not look at the things that make us different. And we can only do that and work together if we understand that we share the same history. We speak dialects of the same language. We have the same structure of our society, our culture, if we look at what we came with, what we came into the West with already, not with what we picked up later on, which makes us different. And if we can agree,
I have
show that we share the same history, the same blood, the same language, and we are strong together if we work together. And how do we accomplish this? We accomplish it through education. We have our own teachers, we have our own lawyers, our own schools to start with. And we show the older people.
Söylüyorum şimdi Jan Hancock'la videoda. Buyurun. Okay. Okay, süper. Okay. Okay, oldu. Teşekkür ederim. I just got a call, and especially greetings you have from Orhan Purcu, our deputy at the Turkish Parliament, Rome.
Oh, wonderful!
Who,
Thank you.
Thank you. He was very amazed. He went out of the assembly in the corridor and calling me to tell you that he's hugging you and congratulate 50 years of the first Congress.
Well, my greetings in return, and Budbach Tumenge. Our International Roma Day is wonderful. It's coming up. But let me finish my message. We have to educate our people about our shared history, and we must work together to prioritize what is most important. We have so many problems, but we can defeat these problems. We did not survive for 1,000 years with no country, no economy, no army, no government, but we are still here. So we have the strength. Siamende zor, tineris. We can do it. And 50 years later, I see so many positive changes, but I still see problems that we have to face and defeat. And we will do it.
How we will do?
How do
you see how we will do? What are the ways to do what you're saying now?
I understand. I was about to say that we have to convince our older generation that becoming educated does not mean becoming Gajikanibe. We are not losing our Romanipe by becoming educated. We have to function in a competitive world. We have to know how to use a computer. We have to know how to read and write. We have to understand the law. We have to understand common sense health, for example. Some of these things are makerde, they are marime, but we have to somehow accommodate this understanding if we not only have to be equal, but we have to be better. Because every time we take one step forward, we get pushed back 2 steps. I am fighting here in this country with trying to get our Holocaust genocide recognized, and I am being stopped every step of the way. But if with more voices, more people who can write letters, send emails, speak up, know how to use lawyers, tukatura, we can win. They cannot silence us forever. That's how we'll do it. Education, education, education.
Exactly. That's why I do believe very much, and I do believe as well about your fundamental thoughts, how we are going to progress. And I have a question to you for you about here in Turkey having 5-6 million Roma or even more, because Roma NGO here in Turkey are like mushrooming and they want to do a lot. But I have got in Istanbul, in Izmir, in Mersin, in Hatay, in those cities that are around the border of the Syria, where Dom and Lom communities are today. They said to me, we need somebody like Yanko to come among us. And then I explained that this pandemic issue is so difficult to travel and so on. And talking about it, I have got as well very strong message to pass to you that sometime in the end of the May will be a conference of Roma academics, and they are inviting you. Our people need someone like you. So how you see that this study center here, having 50 years of the first World Congress, Roma World Congress, how you see this center has to bring those mechanisms that you are speaking about, education, and to actually to make possible that all these old generation, but also young generation. I have to tell you that I'm so pleasantly surprised. Here in Izmir, there are at least 50. You don't hear. Okay. Do you hear now? Do you hear me now? Shunes makanan? Na?
Va.
So here in Izmir is about 50. Here in Izmir, there are about 50 educated boys and Roma with university, with master, with PhD. And really, they want you, they want Professor Ilber Ortali, who is very famous, extraordinary person, academic. They said we have will come internet. Yes, we have got again. We are back.
Şimdi gelir.
Okay.
Gel.
So I'm speaking about you as one of first revolutionaries for our Roma people. Do you remember your colleagues before 50 years who was on the first Congress? You're the one who got with the Jules Breiner to sign a status of the Inter-Romani Union at the UN. How did it happen?
Well, you remember that Yul Brynner, supposedly his mother was Romni, and he became quite interested in that part of his family. I already had a LP, long play record of him singing folk songs in Romani language. And so he was invited to be an honorary associate of the International Romani Union and agreed. And we asked him, because he was well known back then, to come with us. There were four of us, went to New York to present a document asking the United Nations to recognize us as a non-territorial nation. We were admitted into as a member of the Economic and Social Council. We had membership in the Department of Public Information, and were then registered also as an NGO. And I, at the same time, had been trying successfully to get the Romani Union into UNESCO. So that was also accepted at the UN as part of our overall description. However, we were only admitted as observers. We had observer status, which meant only that we could be present, but only to observe. And it wasn't until some years later when I remember a number of people came, including our late brother Rajko Đurić. He was here. And we went and petitioned for elevated status to consultative status, which meant that we could now be asked for our advice on Roma issues. This was a big step forward. We had Roma here from Europe, and we all sat in the chamber in New York. There were several other issues being debated, and everything was supposed to have closed down by 5 o'clock at night, and 5 o'clock came, but we still had not, I had not had my opportunity as the representative at the UN to speak. But as I remember, the representative from the Irish Republic asked the chair of the session to allow me to make my case, and they agreed. And so that evening I got up, and only for about 4 minutes I made the case for elevated status, and it was unanimously approved at that session. Every member of all the countries' representatives who were there approved. And that was a great move forward for us. But unfortunately, through a number of problems, we lost that UN status. And I frankly don't know where we stand now. I don't believe we are back where we were. It had to do with a struggle for power and representation from the European side. I had been paying the annual dues myself, but it was a blow for us. But it doesn't mean we cannot regroup, and with younger people. Not me now. I'll be 80 years old next year, so I'm sitting back and watching the young people But that's no reason not to move ahead and try again. And the Romani Union is stronger now than it's been for a long time. And our educated Roma are increasing in numbers, and that gives me great encouragement. I have met some beautiful young Roma in Europe who I was so proud to see them and hear them. I cried. William, I was so proud to see them, and they are only growing in number. We have the internet, and for us, a diaspora people, the internet is a diaspora means of communication. We are talking now across the world, and we can use this to educate. The center that you are creating in Turkey will be connected by computer with the rest of the world, with Roma everywhere, Australia, Russia, South Africa, South America, everywhere. And that's a wonderful thing.
Exactly. Professor, tell me how you felt at the moment of the recognition that the International Romani Union is a part of United Nations. And I believe you said to me a long time ago that status of International Romani Union was very similar to the status of Palestinian Liberation Organization. Is
Yes,
that
yes, I did say that because it's very difficult to be recognized as a people when you don't have a geographical country of your own. Somehow, ownership of land legitimizes human beings in some way. That does not make sense to me. Nevertheless, it has worked against us, and really because we are not defined geographically or nationally in the eyes of the world, it has allowed the world to decide who we are and what we are, because they cannot point to a country or a nationality, but they can point to Hollywood, they can point to storybooks, and that is what this is one of the real problems we have, Orhan, to change the image, to tear down the Hollywood gypsy and show the world that we are real Roma, real Romani people, and not storybook characters. And we're slowly doing that. We are achieving that. In some countries, you cannot use the word gypsy or Tigoina or Tigan in the press. And that's because we have protested and protested successfully. And we will continue to do that. And we will continue to talk to each other like this. You and I and others talk to each other electronically all the time.
right?
And we will keep doing that.
I'm sorry.
Once the
when you are mentioned,
when the corona is behind us, we will be together face to face. Muy Moscow.
Çatesi. Kana tu vakeres pala international Romani Unia. Ang la panjwar de shberish daman godi. Kaisas kadi sardumuk iru. Akana siamen trin iru. Akana siamen varesa relația o Roma tai India. Roma.
Hasardentut bectata.
Moro pucipesi kana stas gasavo statuso o iru angla panjwar deshberish kaisa zoralo dumuk kade tai akarasiamen triniru janes tai some daman godi sar e relația Roma tai India shaite avel e zoralo momento kana amente avas palpare ketanes.
Yes, so me pendem, ketanis, shai neris, shai dobindis.
Yeah. Sar e India shaite delamen vast kai amaro ketani pete ovel mai zoralo. Sosta romanusha akana, sosta si baro nacionalismo, discriminația, antigipsismo, antiziganismo, come janava sa anti-romane sentimenti. Sar shai amen politicanes, dedicaste keras, sosta tu janes bujucar e Indira Gandhi. Ando yekmia enyashele eftavardesta octotoberseste, pendas que amen samidia que chavore. Aisi cadu chachepe. Numai în decatul momentul, sar amen shaite keras shukar relația e indiasa.
Va, absolut no, chacho swato. Yeah, turbula me enge ezor anda India. La indiatar.
Yeah. Me care se masam India la yekbersh taivareso sase irani Sushmaji Swaraj Savasas minister vash Abrune Buchade. She was late Sushmaji Swaraj, Minister of Foreign Affairs, and she was confirming so si ote yek proceso akanate kerel pe recognația e romengi sar indiaki diaspora. Sar tu dikes pecado.
Well, so magarte jornalistas, o governmento indiaco, shai jutil tumen, and tu mari organizația te pokine.
How you see developments of the Indian-Romani relations in a sense of that India is already making that Roma should, you don't hear. Do you hear me now? Shunesma kana? Na. Me pen av sartu dikes pe India kai India mangel that India wants to recognize Roma as Indian diaspora. What is your opinion about it?
But you know that Madam Indira Gandhi уже прижадяс ame. Publicly, she said so.
Yeah. Chacho, numai nai varesavo te penav legalno internacionalno documento kai o romasi recognition as in Indian diaspora. So Roma can have ID, can have a land, can develop a business in India, and so on. What is your opinion? Because some people say to me, Orhan, we will not go to India back.
Don't you think that if there were such a thing as a Roma ID,
no Roma ID, no.
immediately cause problems with people who
but no Roma ID.
Roma or say they are Roma, and there are many who say that and they are not.
No, I'm speaking about Indian side. I'm speaking about Indian government, how he looked at us. It was when I was in India with others, there was many our activists like Marcel Portiade, like many colleagues and friends, our people, Roma, Chave, Chaya, Judah, Mursha, and the Minister of Foreign Affairs said that India would like to recognize Roma as Indian diaspora. Do you
But
think
we
this is?
already are recognized. There is an organization, Orhan, called Gopio.
Yes, I know.
Gopio, yeah, we are a member of the Global Organization of People of Indian Descent. People of
Okay.
Indian origin. Global Organization of People of Indian Origin, which is an Indian organization. And they
I know that.
invited us. But what I would suggest is that we make another request to the Indian government for a new statement from India acknowledging our Indian roots.
Right. India is
Because,
recalling also academic work among Roma in India.
yes, I know. Yes.
As you know, there is very important professors, Shashi and others as well. How you see Eurasian Roma Academic Network, because we are like 2025 members, you're honorable president of the Eurasian Roma Academic Network. What would be a first role of this network?
Some of the scholarship from India is very old fashioned and, quite frankly, not correct. But there are some young Indian scholars here in the West who are doing Ramani studies. In fact, I am now working with a junior professor at the University of Arkansas. He is a Marathi man from India. He has received a grant to work with Roma in Europe, specifically to determine how much of our culture is original, is core culture, and how much has been acquired since living in the West. And I have spoken at length to him to try to understand his position, and I'm quite confident that he knows what he's doing and what he wants to do. He's got problems, of course, waiting for him, but he is an example of a number of younger Indian people, and of course, you know, my old student Niti, Dr. Trehan. In fact, I will be meeting with her this week. She is Indian herself and is bringing reality eastwards, let's say, to India. So I am very much encouraged by the obvious signs of a strengthened link with the home of our distant origins. That is very necessary. We need a national voice to speak for us.
Exactly. I would like to tell you that some of viewers here, they are greeting you. Let me mention one of Genghis Ilgin. He said, "Why you didn't come to Mersin?"
Who is this?
He's a Rom from Turkey. His name is Cengiz Ilgin, and he was in Mersin waiting for you 2-3 years ago when we organized our first conference.
I've lost your voice again.
No. Well, you have some greetings from the viewers. and one of them is Cengiz Ilgin, who is asking, what's happened that you didn't come to Mess in that time, few years ago?
Cengiz Ilgun.
Yes.
Yeah, I see his face. Hello.
Yeah. Very good. Yeah.
Now is Rabi Sieni.
Well, he's asking about you in general, and so, well, one of my questions today, when I was thinking about our meeting, our interview here, is there any new book that you are preparing to come out?
No.
No.
Oh, my book?
Yes.
I'm sorry, I cannot hear you now.
I said, are you preparing some of your new book
To
publish?
I am writing my own biography, but my book, Arrêtable Romané, is now in a new edition in Greek, which has much more information in it, but in the Greek language. There is a new book about my book that has just been published in Japan. It is in Japanese. It is by somebody called Martin Kaneko. But me, no. I am doing other things now and relaxing. Relaxing after many years.
Well, you deserve to relax, and so, but you have been, as much I was traveling, even in this terrible time, people doesn't think about your age. You are always an inspirational, a great, a kind of academic bomb for our people, asking me how much we talk to each other, what we do, and so on. I have a hidden idea. Whatever is with the pandemic, I think I will, if you let me, I will try this year again to visit you and to be in India as well. So you didn't hear what I said. Okay, I think internet problem again.
Unstable internet connection. Move closer
Yeah.
to your router.
Yeah.
This is what it.
Okay. What you are going to do on 8th of April?
No.
Did you hear me? You're
I
also
cannot hear
moving.
you anymore, Orhan.
Okay, Jan, what you are going, Soca quieres tú on 8th of April? How that day will pass, go through. On 8th of April, what you will do?
We will, let's try with Zoom another day.
Okay.
Okay?
Okay, I want to thank you very much. Another day we do Zoom.
Okay.
Yes. Thank you very much. Vitu te avesasto bakalo palikela batu ke moprado.
Vitu Menga. Bye-bye.
Bye. So now this was an internet, and bye-bye. This was from Roma Agency and Radio Patrin, kind of a broadcasting we have had to make kind of a interview, not really interview, it was better to say kind of a very free talk to Jan Hancock, Professor Jan Hancock. We wanted just to show him, to hear from him. It is 8th of April, it's 50 years of the first World Congress, and we are, many of us around the here, millions of Roma will celebrate 8th of April here in Izmir. There are two big events that tomorrow Mayor Tunç Soyer will organize. It's a kind of extraordinary program to celebrate the World Day of Roma. Also, day after, on 8th of April, Galjus Party here is organizing also an event, and many Roma in Izmir. Let me tell you also that in Izmir is, as much I heard, up to 400,000 Roma in the city, and a very beautiful city. Today is nice, beautiful weather. And I am enjoying here being and working on the issues to establish headquarters of the Eurasian Roma Academic Network, and to bring, as Jan Hancock said, kind of a mind, a critical mass that we will use our education as the way to our liberty.